The Dice Tower did a preview video from Gamma, which keeps having more news, of a brand new Sheriff of Nottingham expansion called Merry Men that has some very interesting, also module-based, which seems to be the popular thing now. Splendor had that same thing, the Splendor expansion.
Well, I think it's the idea of customizing the game that fits you, because, a lot of times I feel like people are like, well, I had this expansion, everyone's like, I don't like it, this is terrible. And this way, by saying module, it gives, well, then you didn't have to use it.
Yeah, well, I know, like Battlestar, we'll use expansion, but always like, we don't want to go to that place, we'll use that, this is our end goal instead. It is interesting, it makes it a little less cluttered.
Right, and I think by using the word, like I was saying, the word expansion, module implies you modulate, use the pieces. When expansion feels like it should go in, like with Arkham Horror, you really shouldn't go through every single extra board. You're going to have a bad time.
You're going to have a bad time.
A hard time, at least. But if you consider more like, I'll choose maybe this scenario with it, or maybe these two, it's a little better.
Yeah, I agree. Well, wait till you hear about the modules in the new Sheriff of Nottingham expansion.
I wonder what it has to deal with.
Sheriffs or Nottingham. So the first one is one of the biggest ones that I really wanted is a sixth player. You're not going to be able to do 6 players, which I always thought would work great with Sheriff because it is a party game.
Right.
It was just tough with the way that the balance of the game worked, I think, at that time. But they've added some stuff. So, for instance, one of the things is deputies. So rather than having one person as the sheriff, 2 people would be deputies, and they both decide which bags to look in or not.
So they both have to agree.
If they don't agree, so let's say you and I were doing it and I wanted to look and you didn't, I would just accept the full responsibility for what was in that bag.
Okay,
but if we agreed, we got to split whatever's in it.
That's pretty good, because that's an interesting take on it, because then you could, if you want to put something bad in there, you can sort of
yeah, you're like, I know that guy is onto me, but that guy's not, or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that could be, and also play head games with it. If we were deputies, I'm like, that could be bad. So I want him to lose all the coin or something, and like,
right.
Or I'll pay you 3 to take all responsibility for opening it.
You're just bribing your own deputy. That's some crazy head games I hadn't even considered. You're also going to have new Merry Men cards, which are goods that you smuggle, but if you smuggle them successfully, they'll have an ability. So, for instance,
you would reveal
it right away, and you would get to do an action of some kind, which is kind of a new twist. There's also going to be special orders, which have both legal and illegal goods on the same card. So again, just another interesting twist for merchandise. Another one was laws. So whoever is the sheriff chooses law cards for the round that they're doing that have different impacts on that round.
So you might be able to make something illegal or something legal.
Exactly. Or maybe you might even do something like penalties are now higher for this round than normally would be.
That could be interesting, because then that's another thing to bribe with.
Right.
Like if there's something that made pepper, for example, that's just the first illegal thing that came to mind, legal for a round, you'd be like, I'll pay you 10 to choose that law for this turn.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's half the fun of the game, is the
metagame.
Breaking the rules by
So, I mean, it's been a while since we played Sheriff, but this sounds like the kind of thing that would bring us back in.
Half it is because it'd be like, we have 6 people.
Yeah, or even when you have 3 or 4, like 5, but 4 is pretty good, but 5 is definitely the sweet spot.
And now that you can get 6, I mean, no. Anything that's a party game, almost always, if you can add a player, it's usually the obvious.
Yeah, that's for an expansion, that's usually the first place you want to go. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. Yeah, right. I'm not sure if the deputies thing is required for 6 players, because it sounds like that's their fix to make it work.
I think that might still be fine.
I think that's okay. I think that makes sense. Everything sounds.
Because that's half the fun is being. So it gives everyone more chances to be the sheriff.
My only real concern is that there are so many cards already, including we have a bunch of promos for it too, and it's a pain to shuffle and organize. So adding more, I don't know, it might be tough.
That's why I think another thing with the modules, you could just be like, I really don't want to add in the Merry Men.
But then it's the other thing where I got to look through 100 cards and find the 4 to take out. I mean, it's an impossible solution. It's just something that is.
But overall, I think it's
still cool. I mean, a popular game and have an expansion.
And one we definitely suggest you try out.
If you enjoyed this video, it was just a snippet of our full-length podcast, which you can find on our YouTube channel every week. So please go ahead, like, and subscribe for more board game-related content coming at you in the future.
And don't forget to check out rollforcrit.com, where we actually sell a lot of the games we talked about, as well as post news and all our other videos. Until then, I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes, and this is Roll for Crit.